know, unless you're new here, you might not know about my peculiar affinity for solar-powered recreational off-grid vehicles. But you know, there comes a point in time where spending more money on your solar system just isn't going to get you the returns you'd expect as far as your dollars in versus kilowatt hours out. And if you know me, I love those kilowatt hours. Now, today's video, we're going to be talking about the threshold that you don't want to cross between spending money on your solar system and spending money on an alternative that's going to be a better value for your buck. My name's Chuck Cassady. You don't want to go anywhere because this week's video, well, it could save you thousands, and it could also give you a solar system that's going to do exactly what you want for exactly what you want to spend. It's like rain. Wah! Now look, if you tuned in for a video telling you solar is stupid and a generator is the only way to go, you're gonna be disappointed because the answer, which is no surprise, is somewhere in the middle. The truth is, solar panels have become so affordable along with battery storage and all the accompanying hardware, it's hard to make a case for any rig not having some level of solar power. By the same token, with the cost of batteries and panels being what they are, there's a compelling case to make for having a small inverter-style generator on your rig, no matter what kind of solar setup you have. So today, I want to get into that and discuss the pros and cons of each and help you find the line where you can decide how many panels and batteries should I have, and at what point does a generator make sense? And here's a little cheat for you. The little generator always makes sense. Let's go into the studio and break it all down on the whiteboard. Now look, I'm not the first one to tell you that there is a diminishing point of returns as far as money spent on making your solar system 100% reliable versus money spent making that solar system 100% reliable but falling back on fossil fuels and other less sexy methods for powering your rig. So today we're going to break that down, and I'm going to go over some common costs that I've seen in my years doing this and help you understand where that line might be for you and why I really believe buying one of these guys is not money wasted. Let's dive into the numbers. Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think everybody out there living off grid should probably own a generator of some kind. And right now, because of advancements in technology, an inverter-based generator like this one here that you can find on Amazon for under 500 bucks is not a bad way to spend your money, especially if you're in a situation where spending maybe another $2,000 to $4,000 on batteries and solar panels might make or break your solar off-grid electrical system. Let's put all that aside though and take a look at our first use case. So this person or persons have decided they want to go pure solar, and so we design a nice system for them. The materials for a system like that, if you want the off-grid mini split air conditioning and all of that, they can range, but usually you're looking at about $6,500 for our base cost to meet, say, 90% of the loads, and in my experience that's a fair estimate. But if they want to get to 100%, that means at least 2 more batteries and maybe a couple more panels. $3,000 later, they're at $9,500 bucks to have a solar system that at least theoretically meets 100% of their loads. Let's compare that to a solar and generator setup. Base cost of $6,500 will meet their loads 90% of the time. To make that last 30% up, however, they go for an affordable small generator, especially an inverter-based one like this one, that costs under 500 bucks. So they're in it for $7,000. Both of these systems have the theoretical ability to meet 100% of their usage loads 100% of the time. This one costs $7,000. This one costs $9,500. The difference between the two is that if an overcast situation or a storm continues, the cost required to meet that load does not increase over time. That's still $7,000 plus, you know, what is relatively speaking a nominal cost for fuel to keep the things running. On this system, if you don't have a generator, you spent $6,500, another $3,000 on batteries and panels, and you know what, that storm is longer than you expected. Well, lo and behold, that $9,500 you spent still means the power goes out after a week, when for another 500 bucks you could have bought a generator. I think you can see where this is going. No matter how much money you spend on a solar system, having some redundancy is a good idea, and in fact, if we're looking at the cost-benefit analysis of the two, maybe designing a solar system that only works 90% of the time is 100% a-okay. The fact is, you can buy these hyper-efficient inverter-based generators that will run your off-grid bus for under 500 bucks. And that is a huge game changer in terms of how we should spend our money on our off-grid systems. I love clean energy, I love free energy, and I love silent energy, but obviously there is a point at which I am willing to spend a few $100 for something that is the opposite of those three, so that I don't have to spend 4 or 5, maybe even 10 times as much money to get the same amount of uptime out of a pure solar and battery-based system. It's simple economics. And I hope this breakdown makes sense for you. An inverter-based generator like this sips the fuel, and it generates a very stable, clean type of electricity that you can use to not only run your bus, but also recharge your batteries. And if you have a robust solar system, which you would in either of these cases, recharging the batteries while meeting your loads is a great way and an economical way to run a smaller generator to refill your solar system's capacity. Sure, you might have peak loads that exceed the peak loads of this, but with a good solar system, the batteries alone should be able to absorb those high demand appliances and spare your small generator from dealing with the burden of powering them. It's one of the perks of running a Victron-based system. And as far as I know, Victron is the only company that offers equipment that allows you to combine power from not only a grid-tied or a grid replicating system like an inverter, along with power from your batteries and solar panels to run your house. While your house is being powered by a small generator like this, anything extra is being put into the batteries, and that means your system is recharging. And for a few $100 to have the redundancy of a second source of energy to run your entire existence, well, shoot, that is a small amount to pay, especially when you consider the price of even the most affordable server rack batteries. Well, it's well over $1,500. I know it's hard to understand how to spend your money on systems like this, especially because there are so many variables, but I don't believe in spending all of your money upfront on a solar system trying to be 100% off-grid. That's not fair to yourself, it's not fair to your wallet, and the truth is a few $100 gets you the freedom of knowing that in any condition, you always have the fallback of 1,800 watts of continuous power as long as you have the fuel to run it. It's hard to argue with that, right? Woo! My name's Chuck Cassady. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope this video helps you make some more informed and perhaps fiscally responsible decisions about how to meet your energy needs in your rig, whether you're off-grid or on-grid, in a way that maximizes your dollars spent in terms of kilowatt hours out. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you here next week.